In the 2019 series History of the Marvel Universe Volume 2, fans got a retelling of the main moments in Marvel history through a conversation between Franklin Richards and Galactus. At the end of time, in the final hours of the multiverse, Franklin and Galactus worked side by side to ensure the proper rebirth of the cosmos. Galactus helped Franklin remember how everything had happened in the seventh cosmos, which ended with secret wars. Even before this series, fans already knew Franklin was an Omega-level mutant. Hickman's X-Men run established not only that Franklin remains an Omega-level mutant, but one of the most powerful in that category as well. In History of the Marvel Universe, Volume 2, Issue 3, September 2019, Galactus says Franklin is the most powerful mutant ever born. The Eater of Worlds has always been impressed by Franklin's powers, but even more so in the final moments of the multiverse. When the responsibility of recreating the entire multiverse falls upon Franklin's shoulders, it becomes even clearer that Franklin can't be matched by most. In an incredible reversal of hierarchy, Galactus once became the herald of Franklin Richards. This strange moment happened in Fantastic Four number 604, published in March 2012 during Jonathan Hickman's legendary run. An adult version of Franklin, aided by his younger self, returned from the future to save reality from the mad Celestials. To do so, he restored Galactus and elevated him to the role of his own herald. To see the Devourer of Worlds kneeling before Franklin was pretty surreal for fans. Together, Franklin and his herald Galactus took on multiple mad Celestials and won. Not only did Franklin show he could battle Celestials, he destroyed one with a mere thought. The sheer scale of this battle demonstrated Franklin's cosmic capabilities, arguably placing him on par with entities like the Living Tribunal or Eternity. Even the Ultimate Nullifier, one of Marvel's most devastating weapons that can kill Galactus, has failed against Celestials. Franklin by himself is far more powerful than any of the most powerful gadgets and artifacts in the Marvel Universe, with the latest trailers for the Fantastic Four First Steps showing that Galactus has taken an interest in Franklin specifically. This connection will be drawn upon even more. Speaking of Celestials, they too have an admiration for Franklin like Galactus does. As a child, Franklin's powers allowed him to challenge and even defeat mad Celestials, as we've just discussed. Between Fantastic Four issues 571, September 2009, and 611, October 2012, the mad Celestials attempted to destroy the cosmos. Franklin was Earth's final line of defense. In his battle against these beings, his raw power became evident when he totally erased the mad Celestials from existence. Franklin is capable of time travel, creating pocket universes which he controls, energy manipulation, telepathy, telekinesis, mind transferal, fundamental force manipulation, precognitive dreams, and much more. His powers are also not limited to his own universe, which makes him a multiversal shaper. This has been further explored in the 2015 Secret Wars crossover, when Franklin created the eighth cosmos. The Celestials themselves refer to beings like Franklin as Shapers of Worlds. His ability places him in a rare class alongside characters like the Molecule Man and the Beyonder. One of Franklin's earliest demonstrations of world-shaping power was his creation of Counter-Earth, a pocket reality designed to protect his family and others from the horrors of Onslaught. During the climax of the Onslaught saga in 1996, many of Marvel's heroes sacrificed themselves to defeat the monstrosity born from the dark side of Professor X and Magneto. The Avengers and the Fantastic Four joined forces but weren't strong enough to defeat them. Unknown to all, Franklin saved their essences when they lost, and transported them into a pocket dimension of his own creation. This new world mirrored Earth in many ways, but lacked the same history. Trying to make it a better place, Franklin left out all of Earth's trauma and constant conflict. There, at Counter-Earth, the heroes lived unaware that they were living in a child's alternate universe. It was revealed in Heroes Reborn: The Return, Volume 1, Number 1 in October 1997 that Franklin had crafted this entire world subconsciously. This means that Franklin was under such emotional stress as a child before he could fully control his powers and instinctively created a parallel Earth from scratch. Without even thinking about it, he successfully recreated the entire planet with functioning ecosystems, cities, and sentient people. Remember when we said Franklin could time travel? Well, he can, but it doesn't mean it's an easy thing to do. Time travel can get tricky, especially when it involves meeting yourself in the past or in the future. For someone like Franklin Richards, who had to use his time-traveling powers from an early age, the concept of linear time barely applies. In Fantastic Four number 574, December 2009, and number 575, January 2010, an older version of Franklin travels back in time to help guide his younger self. This older version had experienced lifetimes of battles, galactic diplomacy, and universal reconstruction. He wanted to ensure that his younger self was prepared for what lay ahead. This mentorship included teaching Franklin to control his vast psionic powers and prepare him for cosmic threats that even the Fantastic Four couldn't comprehend yet. The adult version was powerful enough to resurrect Galactus and stand toe-to-toe with mad Celestials, skills he wanted his younger self to master for good reasons. Long before he became the cosmic architect of the new multiverse, Franklin had his powers suppressed by Reed's experiments to ensure he would have a childhood as normal as possible. But even during this era, Franklin still found ways to be a hero. As a kid, he teamed up with another family superhero team, the Power Pack, a group of young superhero siblings with their own series. During this time, they called Franklin Tattletale, the name given to him by the Power Pack because of his precognitive dreams and ability to tell the future, or tattle on the future. This was particularly explored in the 1984 Power Pack series. The comics showed Franklin in a more grounded setting in that series, in comparison to Fantastic Four stories. Though his powers were dampened to protect him, they still manifested in subconscious ways. His friendship with the Power siblings gave him a much-needed break from the cosmic chaos of his parents' world, and became a way to channel his uncontrollable powers. These stories emphasized Franklin as an unknowably powerful entity. His adventures as Tattletale were short-lived, but they offered a glimpse at the personal cost of being a godlike being growing up in the Marvel Universe. Franklin never had much of a childhood because he was born with so much power, but at least he managed to have a good time alongside other kids like the Power Pack. Marvel's devil figure, the demon called Mephisto, has clashed with many of Earth's heroes and villains. Mephisto not only terrorized humans, but also Thor and other gods. He also targeted villains and pushed Dr. Doom into tyranny, among many other evil acts. However, Franklin Richards took Mephisto down pretty easily during John Byrne's run of Fantastic Four comics. In Fantastic Four number 277, January 1985, and number 278, February 1985, Mephisto captured Franklin to use his soul as a battery for his realm of fire, but Franklin's latent power overwhelmed the Demon Lord. In a stunning reversal, Mephisto was not only stopped, he was ripped apart by the child's subconscious resistance to him. This wasn't an epic battle in any way. Franklin didn't even know what he was doing, but simply being disturbed was enough to trigger his own subconscious defenses. The fact that Mephisto, one of the most manipulative, dangerous, and enduring villains in the Marvel Universe, was undone by a child showcases how great Franklin's powers truly are. In alternate timelines, Franklin's future becomes even more complex. In one such future, the Earth 967 timeline, he has a romantic relationship with Rachel Summers, the daughter of Cyclops and Jean Grey. Together, they have a child named Jonathan Richards. This child goes on to become Hyperstorm, a being so powerful he becomes a multiversal threat. Hyperstorm inherits the cosmic and psionic power of both parents, essentially combining the Phoenix Force lineage with Franklin's reality-warping DNA, a dangerous mix. This concept was explored during the Fantastic Four run by Tom DeFalco from 1996. Hyperstorm kidnaps Franklin's younger self, battles Reed Richards, and becomes a cautionary tale of unchecked power and legacy. Though this storyline exists outside of 616 continuity, it's a haunting scenario that shows the consequences of pairing two Omega-level mutants. The fact that Hyperstorm's existence needed to be undone via time manipulation speaks volumes about how dangerous Franklin's genetic legacy can be. For years, Marvel writers have teased that Franklin's power might be too much for reality to handle. In many instances, other characters feared his powers would cause the end of everything. That idea was taken to a new level during Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four and FF run, which explored the cost of omnipotence for Franklin. In Fantastic Four, Volume 1, Number 605 from May 2012, the Council of Reeds revealed that Franklin's very existence could destabilize reality, so his powers naturally wear out. When Franklin fully embraced his powers as a child, it triggered catastrophic multiversal consequences that could never be corrected. Later, in the 2018 Fantastic Four series by Dan Slott, this idea was revisited when it was revealed that Franklin's use of cosmic power to rebuild the multiverse after Secret Wars was not infinite. This run is considered a retcon because it emphasized how the more Franklin used his powers, the more he lost them. This added a tragic twist to Franklin's character. Unlike what fans believed up to that point, Franklin wasn't exactly a godlike being. He was in fact burning himself out to save others, and could lose his powers one day. Franklin Richards' identity as a mutant was long accepted as Marvel canon, but that was actually retconned. This retcon sparked so much backlash from fans that most ignore it was even made. Franklin's status as a mutant was central to several major X-Men arcs, including his appearances in Days of Future Present. As we've discussed in today's video, he even got an Omega-level classification in House of X and Powers of X by Jonathan Hickman. But in Fantastic Four number 26 by Dan Slott, Marvel made a shocking move. They retconned Franklin's mutant status. In the story, Franklin has lost his powers, but still tries to use Krakoa's resurrection protocols and mutant-only gates. However, Professor X and the Quiet Council revealed that Franklin was never truly a mutant. According to them, Franklin subconsciously used his powers to make himself appear to be one because he wanted to belong. This narrative twist was met with heavy criticism. Many fans saw it as a narrative convenience to remove Franklin from X-Men stories and place him back under the exclusive umbrella of the Fantastic Four franchise. Critics also pointed out that the idea contradicted earlier canon and undermined Franklin's role as a bridge between mutants and non-mutants. While Marvel may revisit this decision in future stories, the controversy highlighted just how important Franklin had become. He's far more than just a child of the Fantastic Four, he's a symbolic figure in Marvel's mutant lore. Franklin Richards may be a cosmic-level threat to galactic civilizations, but at heart, he's a child who just wants to protect the people he loves. And just like he can reshape any part of reality, he can certainly rewrite people's memories. In a particular Fantastic Four storyline, Franklin used his reality-warping abilities to alter the memories of his parents, Reed and Sue Richards. Franklin made them believe that their other child, Valeria, had always been a part of their family. The real story is much more complicated. Valeria was initially introduced as an unborn child lost during a traumatic pregnancy in Fantastic Four Volume 3, number 49, November 2001. However, she was pulled into an alternate timeline where she matured and eventually returned to Earth as an older version of herself. Franklin, understanding the emotional trauma this would cause his parents, rewrote their memories so they would simply believe Valeria had always been their daughter, and nothing strange had ever happened. In essence, he used his powers to provide them with peace of mind. If that is an ethical thing to do, that's another conversation. This story highlights one of the most compelling aspects of Franklin's character. Despite being one of the most powerful reality warpers in the Marvel Universe, he still thinks like a protective child. Instead of fighting supervillains, his biggest focus is often to protect his parents' emotions. It's a subtle but powerful reminder that Franklin isn't just a powerful character, he's a deeply empathetic hero whose moral compass is grounded in love. Something that can't be said of every Marvel hero.
Family. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself.
For someone born with the ability to reshape reality, the most painful truth is that he can never really live in it because he just doesn't fit in. In one of the most humanizing moments of Franklin's history, he chose to shut off his powers entirely because he just wanted to be normal. This moment occurred in Fantastic Four Volume 6, number 25 from October 2020, shortly after his power levels began to fade naturally. Faced with the realization that each use of his abilities was accelerating their decline, Franklin made the decision he would stop trying to be special. The world should carry on without his help, and he would save his power levels for when they were truly needed. Franklin had spent years caught between two worlds, mutant kind and humanity, but also between childhood and the heavy responsibility of being a reality warper. He was never fully part of the X-Men, never fully understood by his parents, and always treated like a walking doomsday device or last-minute resort by the wider Marvel Universe. By the time he discovered his powers were finite, he decided to let them go. He even enrolled at art school to try and live a normal life. Reed and Sue supported his decision. It's a surprising shift for a character who's battled Celestials and created new universes, but one that ultimately makes a lot of sense. It's incredible how Franklin chose to stop being a god because he wanted to be a teenager, while still realizing he should not refuse the responsibility he naturally has. At least for a while, he won't be a shaper of realities, just a kid who gets to grow up. This self-imposed limitation was a coming-of-age story in disguise, and it gave Franklin a level of emotional depth that had been missing for most of his trajectory.
We'll face it together. As a family.
Well, now that we have talked about 12 little-known facts about Franklin Richards, we would love to know your thoughts on the character. Did you learn anything new about this powerful hero in today's video? What are your expectations for when Franklin joins the Marvel Cinematic Universe? How do you think Galactus' quest for Franklin will end in the Fantastic Four first steps? And where should Marvel Comics take Franklin from here? Let us know in the comments, and remember to subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching CBR.